We will call this meeting to order at 5 p.m. Mr. Cote, it is your role to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance at the flag that you can see over there.
Good. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As far as attendance for known commission members, we have Coles, O'Neill, Cote, Gaffney, and Paradise. For committee members that are also volunteers, we're going to say Friends of the Lowell Veterans Commission is People Daily and Mr. Rivers. I don't know your first name, sir.
George.
Okay, thank you. Is anyone else present that I cannot see? All right, awesome. We potentially were going to have the guest speaker from the Lowell Housing Authority, but they're unable to make it, correct?
That is correct, but I think I sent an email out saying that he had been away for a while. He sent me an email yesterday and said that he would like to come to our next meeting, and I told him I would get back to him tomorrow.
All right, go ahead and invite him and ensure he's able to. Go ahead and invite him and ensure he's able to come to the next meeting, or she, or a representative from the organization.
Sure, in fact, I would probably tell him when I go back to him that to put on a presentation, if he wants to bring a delegation with him, that would be fine too.
Okay. So the next thing I'd like to do is just review the March meeting minutes. The folks who were present there for members was Coles, Paradise, Gaffney, O'Neill, and Harmon. We didn't have a guest speaker. We reiterated who we are and why we're here by going through our Chapter 9 Boards, Commissions, and Committees, Article 10 Lowell Veterans Commission. We reviewed, discussed, and determined whether to approve the 8 January and 12 February 2025 minutes. Unanimous approval to release both. We discussed the nominee for the Veterans Recognition Program. We voted on Mr. Peoples. Paradise moved, O'Neill seconded. All said yes, no nays, and he was nominated. The Veteran Service Officer will work with Mr. Peoples on the next steps. Would you like to, well, I'll get to that in a moment. I want to hear how that went. Gaffney recommended John F. Sullivan Architects for next recognition. Further discussion will be had in the subcommittee. We discussed completing annual and biannual training for your conflict of interest and open meeting law. We talked about the disabled veterans. Mr. Araby from the DAV would like to have known if any of us wanted to participate in the St. Patrick's Day Parade, and we all declined. We did a Memorial Day update. Case provided information for the Dunkin' Donuts truck and the food trucks, volunteers on the subcommittee, the People's Family and Miss Lynn Daly, who is to my right. Appointments and holdovers and commission, we discussed any resignations and versus current members versus holdover members. We reviewed the status of action items to each Lowell Veterans Committee member. We talked about the meeting on the 15th for the DAV at 10 a.m. at the Bunting Club. Paradise talked about a support of a bill for a city buyback and can only buy 4 years back for the city. This is talking about military time, buying back it into your civilian time. We talked about homeless veterans. There's no action for the Lowell Veterans Committee. Our systems are working to take care of vets. We talked about having the Lowell Housing Authority at this April meeting. The state updates at each meeting on how our nation decisions are affecting our veterans. We talked about flag disposal. And we had the VSO update, which was status of the Hometown Heroes banner. The suspense for submission was at that time 14 March. They're going to post 2026 Hometown Heroes submitted to the Sun. There's Westlawn 1 and 2 that's happening, flag planting, Edson Cemetery that's happening, Hometown Heroes presentation that's happening, a Tuskegee Airmen event that happened, Vietnam Veterans Day 50th anniversary that happened. There's breakfast every Wednesday at the Veteran Center, at the Senior Center. Mr. Cote and the Veterans ID program are pressing with getting either the equipment fixed or purchasing new equipment. And we sent out an email reminding us all of this. For those that are able to vote, are there any comments or discussion for the minutes from March?
What was it, on Wednesday, breakfast on Wednesday?
Isn't it Wednesdays every morning?
It's the first Tuesday of the month is the Veterans Breakfast.
Thursday.
I thought they changed it again.
Did they? There was a vote. I didn't hear the vote.
Yeah, it went to Tuesday.
But there is a veterans breakfast once a month in Lowell?
At the senior
So-
center, the first Tuesday of the month.
First Tuesday of the month?
Yeah, I will. Pretty
Is
good.
it at 8 a.m.?
8 a.m.
How's the shit on the shingle?
Okay. Is there anything else, correction or discussions for the meeting minutes? Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes?
I will.
Move that they be approved.
I'm gonna have you, would you mind seconding?
Well, I thought I moved it. Oh,
He-
she did. Right.
He did. Bobby, thank you. All in favor?
Doug?
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Awesome. I'm gonna skip, the Deborah Sampson Act. I'm gonna skip the Center for Minority Veterans, and we can go directly to the, we're gonna go out of order, I apologize. Would you like to talk about the recognition program and how that went?
It was very nice, it was very dignified. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's just incredible what Lowell does for its veterans, really nice. I think you probably have a large part of that, but it was really nice. It was a great opportunity to thank a lot of people that were behind what I did. What I was able to do didn't happen by myself. There were a lot of people that were involved, particularly UMass Lowell, Marty, me, and quite a few others. And what's surprising, it's a small world. My vice president from our first year, he now works at UMass Lowell. He's now a director up there at the Veterans Center. And they have 3 beautiful rooms overlooking the Merrimack River. It's gorgeous. And we had to fight for that. You know, never mind, I won't get into it, but the ceremony was just incredible. It was really moving. Stuff I got on Facebook was just incredible. It was really something.
Did you want to contribute, add anything?
It was actually triple booked. For some reason, the wrestlers from the Greater Lowell Voc were scheduled to be recognized as well, and there was an art installation, they gave out awards for the artists, and there was music downstairs. So the mayor was bouncing around, and he gave his apologies that we were going to do it inside the mayor's reception room, and I think we lucked out. We actually did the whole thing inside of the
Forbidden zone.
in the council chambers, and it was nice. The
Very dignified.
councilors were there, and they all took pictures. It was very nice.
Whoever did the award itself did a great job. That was beautiful.
I think that was a first with the frame. It's usually in a paper folder. I think it looks a lot better like that, and it's a lot more distinguished. They did a great
Yeah,
job.
it was nice. It was very dignified all the way around.
I apologize I couldn't be there, but congratulations,
That's
and I'm
okay.
glad you had a wonderful time.
Thank you. It really is. When I was up there, I just went back there last week to see about ROTC, and just to see their 3 rooms overlooking the river. And the first thing they said to me is, "It's all because of you." I said, "If it wasn't for you, none of this would be here." And it really came home to me. And it started because the friends I was making there, the veteran friends, you know, they were flunking out. The first 2 guys I met were on academic probation. They weren't assimilating to civilian life well, and school is enough pressure and hard enough as it is, you know. And that's when I knew we needed a student veterans organization, because when I got out in the 70s, we had one on campus. So it had to be done. But thank you.
All right, thank you, thank you. Discuss the nominee for Veterans Recognition Program, Jack Sullivan.
Let me go back a little bit. We had a Veteran of the Month program, and this is going to replace it.
No, this is the veterans.
Oh, this is the Veteran of the Month program, and it's now called Veterans Recognition.
I
Well,
just
this was
referred to-
something different.
I referred to the Veterans Recognition Program versus the Veteran of the Month because we had consternation and we had discussion on whether we were going to host it of the month, of the quarter, of the year, et cetera. And since we haven't had the opportunity for all of us to have a true conversation about it, I just called it the Recognition Program, but you can call it what's comfortable for you.
Well, I think the problem with the Veteran of the Month is when we first opened up the program, everybody knew a lot of veterans who might qualify, but when that pool was gone, they weren't coming up as frequently, and so we never did really adhere to a monthly presentation after that. And I thought somebody had proposed changing it to the distinguished veteran or outstanding veteran or something like that.
So if you don't mind, can we stick to your recommendation for Mr. Jack Sullivan?
No, we can't because, well, he's not going to be here, and if that's your requirement, we're not going to be doing.
I don't think we had a requirement for him to be at this meeting.
Well,
in order to
you
recommend it.
said you wanted him to come in before we voted.
I didn't.
No.
I'm sorry. If you wanted to recommend, if you have someone you want to recommend, this is your form to recommend whoever you would like, even if it isn't Mr. Sullivan at this time.
I think I'll hold off on it.
Okay.
On the question of the, now I'll tell you why too. These are not people that are applying for a job or being examined for. These are people who we're honoring for their service and their contribution to the city. It's not something. If you present a veteran and you tell them what their qualifications are and what they've done for the city, what are you going to ask them about?
Was that rhetorical?
Yeah, it's rhetorical because I mean you're not going to cross-examine them. Most of the people who are veterans of the month are elderly people. Sometimes they need a lot of coaxing to come in accept the award. If they're going to come in before a panel, they're just not going to do it.
I don't recall us ever having them come in before a panel. It was just us either recommending whomever we wanted to recommend for this program.
You said, when can Jack Sullivan come in?
So, from my understanding, this was we recommend whoever we wanted to come in. The commission has a conversation about it. We vote on it. We offer it to Mr. LaMarche, and then at wherever the recognition program is held, that's where the person would come in, not to this meeting.
Normally, what we've done is when one was nominated, we would report it to the mayor's office, and the mayor would arrange a ceremony, kind of a two-part ceremony. Part one would be in the mayor's reception room, which would be family and friends and a little bit of a speaking program. Part two would be in the council chambers, where another formal presentation would be made. And I gather the recognition program is going to replace that.
We're saying the same thing. We're using some different terms, but we're saying the same thing, so I'm in agreement with you.
Well, we still
The
talk.
conversation we had before was we just wanted to formalize the process a bit more, but if you want to hold off, that's fine.
Yeah, no, I did have a proposed policy, which I've handed out. Do we like the
ahead.
policy? Do you want to do something different? I don't know.
Go ahead, you have it, go ahead.
Well, there's the policy. It was always known as the Walter J. Bayless Jr. Monthly Veteran Award. Walter J. Bayless, and people in case you don't know, used to own Bayless Funeral Home here in Lowell. He was a Vietnam veteran who won the Bronze Star in Vietnam, and he was one of the people that did a lot of things for veterans coming back. In many cases, it was public. In a lot of cases, it was just kind of behind the scenes. But he was very well liked by veterans, and that's why he is deceased now. But that's why we named it the Walter G. Bayless. At that time, it was monthly, but we could never reliably fill the monthly award. So a suggestion was made that we name something else, distinguished, outstanding, something like that. So, and then the criteria: veteran of the month, military veteran, served honorably armed forces, significant contribution to the city or its residents, not necessarily Lowell residents, but the contribution has to be to the city. Then I put in procedure, the commission may nominate a person or based on a credible representation by the nominator that the veteran meets the criteria. And then there would be a vote. It would essentially be a pro forma vote because if you get the recommendation from a member, you're going to vote for it unless you know something about the veteran that you think would disqualify them. And it was a nice ceremony. We set up in the mayor's reception room. There'd be refreshments, and then we'd go into the council chamber. And I thought it focused good attention. People in the audience seemed to like it. They usually loudly applauded the veteran, and I thought it was a good thing. I thought I thought it gave us some good recognition, and I think a lot of people have spoken to me afterwards. Why don't you do the Veteran of the Month anymore? So that's where we are.
Mr. O'Neill?
I'm confused. What did Mr. People just get? Did you just get Veteran of the Month? Is that, where was
I
that?
did, actually, it said citation, and it was at the city hall.
How come we weren't invited?
You
I didn't-
Everyone was
I
invited.
was?
Yeah, everyone.
It's
was
before
invited.
city council meeting, isn't it? On a
There
Tuesday night?
was an email sent out.
I never saw that. I already gone.
Thank you.
We
It was
It's in
very-
the
it
mayor's
was
reception
very
room, they have
dignified.
cupcakes and
I
stuff,
was-
and then you march over to the city
Yeah, I was
council.
very impressed.
We-
Oh,
Very
well,
dignified.
I read my emails.
They were pressed for time, and the part of going into the mayor's reception room kind of got a little bypassed because of the
Was
the
anybody from
timing.
this committee, was anybody from this?
Eric was there.
Who was?
Eric was there.
So, Mr. Lamarche is
I didn't get it. I
Mr.
would've been,
Lamarche
yeah.
is the Veteran
Okay.
Services Officer, but unfortunately, no
It
one from
was
the committee
really
was there, or
nice.
from the commission
Was,
was
I'm
there.
sorry you missed
So
it.
they're calling it the Veterans Recognition now?
So
and-
I'm gonna say this one more time. I called it the Veterans Recognition Program after
And
we've
we're not-
had this conversation numerous times. The last time, unfortunately, how we met Mr. Peoples, and fortunately, how we met Mr. Peoples, Mr. Lamarche brought him to a meeting and said, "This is our nominee." And so we said, okay, we voted on it. He has been very supportive. He has a great record. We agreed, and then Mr. Lamarche put the event together. Going forward, we can ask Mr. Lamarche to make sure that he emails each and every one of us to make sure that we know about it, and also mentions it at our meetings that we have here.
No, I would have been there if I knew about it.
Are you on?
I don't care what it's called. I mean, Veteran of the Month recognition. I mean, it doesn't, that's half a dozen months to the
Are
other.
you
but-
on the commission email?
No, I get emails from,
That's one person on that email, which is me. It's not everyone. There's
Well,
email
yeah.
addresses, and everyone has access to our full email list.
nobody got it then. Oh, I don't know. I would have been there. Sorry.
Thank you.
It
Thank
I
it
didn't
was
know it was-
really nice.
It was.
Yeah, I would have been there.
In fact, I'll be at the next one for the next
Yeah.
veteran who gets
Yeah.
nominated. Wow, it's
Yeah.
really something.
Particularly
That's just a
when it was in
miscommunication, I
the
guess.
chambers where the city council met, it was
You really
Yeah.
should recommend.
Yeah, it was nice. It's a
Gentlemen,
nice
I
thing.
remember the guy that you recommended, and I remember his references that you quoted. And I
Free
think
cupcake and a
I'm
coffee.
sorry,
You nominated someone last time you spoke on a Zoom meeting, and.
that's correct. And
The gentleman you
the
recommended
Zoom
was-
meeting is it's not great communication, but it's,
I think you should reconsider your nomination. I heard your description, your bio of the man, and wow, he would really be fitting, I think, if you would recommend him.
Put
yeah,
it in there.
Mr. Sullivan served in Vietnam, served in the reconnaissance platoon of the 1st Battalion, 52nd. As you probably know, a reconnaissance platoon is often out front,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's often a little bit. They often have more contact and maybe a little more danger, a little more, and are exposed to a little more danger than some of the other units. Full disclosure, we served in the same infantry battalion, although not together. I was just leaving when he was coming on board, and first and 52nd, whose hat I'm probably wearing tonight. He then became, after his military career, he then became an architect and has owned and run Gavin and Sullivan on Warren Street in Lowell for 40 years. He's done design work for the John Dark Building, Enterprise Bank, Lowell Spinners, Veterans Administration. And although this is not in Lowell, in Tewksbury, he built a 9/11 award for which he's received a number of awards. He serves on the Merrimack Valley Repertory Theater Board. He was on the Douglas Road Veterans Park Formation Committee, and he's also on the National Trust for Historic Preservation. And if I have everybody's assurance that they're going to vote for him, I'm going to move his nomination.
So let's see, can I go for to nominate him for the next?
You'd like to move to nominate Mr. Sullivan?
Sure. Anybody second?
I can't, someone,
And,
yeah.
you get the next opening.
Second is Cote. All in favor?
Aye.
Did you send us the bio?
What?
Did you send the bio?
Any abstentions?
No, I didn't.
Could you email me the bio?
I will say one abstention.
Well,
Any nays? Okay, so then it passes.
Nice.
No. Oh, thank you.
So this will be provided over to Mr. Lamarche, the Veteran Service Officer, for further action, correct?
Yes.
Copy. The next thing we can talk about is status of the Hometown Heroes banner program.
The banners have been ordered. Once they come in, I'll review to make sure they're all spelled correctly and there's no issues, misprints or anything like that. And then I will contact the family. It has been requested through a couple city councilors that we, prior to hanging them, that we introduce them to the city council and let them hang them on their podiums during a city council meeting, and then we'll have them hung. Probably, they'll definitely be up early this year. We started early and finished early, so I'm just waiting for them to come in.
When is the Hometown Heroes event?
It's
So
scheduled-
everyone here will know.
It's scheduled for the 23rd of May at 10 a.m. right in front of, it's in the city, right in front of the police station in the courtyard.
Police Station Courtyard?
Yes.
What day is that on, Eric, you know?
It's a Friday.
Thank you. Does anyone, I would like to know if anyone has anything other or open we would like to talk about other than our assigned actions Memorial Day and handover of our administrivia. Is there anything else anyone would like to talk about? Mr. Cote? Nothing? Glad you're here, glad you're well. Glad you could bring your twin.
Told me I had COVID and the flu.
And they lied.
I think they did,
Good.
because they gave me cold medicine.
I'm okay with them being wrong in this case.
I had no symptoms at all.
All right, good. I'm glad to see you. Mr. Gaffney,
Yes.
anything else that you would like to bring up other than the three I just mentioned?
No, I brought up the gentleman from the Lowell Housing Authority, and I brought up the Sullivan situation. I think I'm pretty much done at this point.
I'm glad to see you here as
Oh,
well.
no,
It
I'm
is
not.
easier
I
for
just
you to
had a
be here than
question.
Zoom.
I just had a question, possibly a proposal. Why would we move down here?
So we can hear each other more easily.
And yeah, that does work out better. But I would think that anytime there is a ceremony or maybe a speaker, we might want to think about going back to City Hall.
We do,
Okay?
absolutely.
Done.
More formal place, be nice if somebody was speaking, when we get a full crowd.
Mr. Lamarche.
I just want to say that the only update, other than all the other events coming up in May, the VFW is giving out free memberships to anyone eligible. It's a one-year membership, so anyone that is eligible to become a member, you need a campaign medal. Just see me, I have applications. I think, or the VFW has a meeting, typically the second Tuesday of every month. But just give me a call or just come on in. I have applications in my office, but they're free 1 year. That's it.
Mr. Rivers.
I have nothing, just I'm glad to have attended here.
Did you come off
Welcome.
your own fruition, or were you invited?
I don't came on my own. I did know they were meeting at City Hall, so I wasn't sure.
Okay.
When I kept meaning to check on it, and I figured, well, I'll just show up and find out what's going on.
Did you happen to see a flyer on LTC?
No.
Oh, that's all right. Well, welcome, and we look forward to you submitting your package to be a commissioner if you so choose.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. O'Neill?
I'm good. About nothing, about the Memorial Day events, or
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
you're gonna get to that? Okay. I have a question on that.
Miss Daly, I'll wait for you. I'll wait. All right. So I just want to read about the Deborah Sampson Act. The Veterans Health Administration must establish the Office of Women's Health for the purpose of providing a central office for monitoring and encouraging the activities of VHA with respect to the provision, evaluation, and improvement of women's veterans health care services. At a minimum, this section requires at least one designated women's health primary care provider at each medical center and at each community-based outpatient clinic. The Office of Women's Health must ensure that each VA medical facility holds a public forum for women veterans at least biannually. Additionally, each VA medical facility must convene a focus group of women veterans at least quarterly to discuss harassment at such facilities. I bring that up because I don't believe that we've had any conversation, at least over the past year while I've been here, about women. I found this one. It's not an old act, but it is a current act. And if anyone's interested in finding out more information, please email our email. I would also like to just let you know about the Center for Minority Veterans is the Department of Veterans Affairs model for inter and intra-agency cooperation to ensure all veterans receive service regardless of race, origin, religion, or gender. They are a process improvement oriented and both internal and external customer centric. In light of our current political situation, I want to make sure that I bring up women and I bring up the global majority.
May I just comment on the Deborah Sampson?
Of course.
The Department of Executive Office of Veteran Services has a Deborah Sampson Award. And it goes out to, if anybody has any nominations for any female veterans. It's the deadline, it's April 25th. I saw that on the Deborah Sampson, so I looked that up and found, I thought it might be interesting.
The Executive Offices of Veteran Services has an annual Deborah Sampson Award.
Correct.
That's like your higher
That's
ups?
correct. And that's spearheaded by now that name of that organization is slipping my mind here. Women's Veterans Network is a big part of that, and I believe they're the ones that vote. But I have an application, but if you go on to the mass.gov, you could find all the information there as well.
Is it possible that you could email that out to all of us to share and post also, maybe with LTC?
Is there possibility that we connect everybody to that email address?
Yes, everyone here, with all the commissioners, including yourself, have been invited and have been asked a few times to please validate that you are able to get into the site, get into the Google Drive, but I know that each of you do receive emails from that Google account. But here's a gateway for that, thank you. I'm gonna write down first that you're gonna send an email to all commissioners on the Deborah Sampson Act Award. And we still have time to get
Yes.
that out and post it with LTC. And on your website?
Sure,
The LVC and VSL website?
sure.
So the segue for that is, sorry. The segue for that is handing over the Google Cloud and marketing material. I have resigned as of 1 June. I've already put in my resignation last month. So the Google account that was created, you all should have access to. And I have asked that you try to get in there and see what you can do and what you can't do. Otherwise, it's going to sit there stagnant. And the reason why I created the Google account is so that you can just continuously hand over the password and change it, and all the information, all of the files are still there. So I would ask, I'll ask Paradise as well, but whomever is going to take over needs to make sure they have access to the account. I'll still have access until someone else is able to take over, but I'm throwing that out there. And I'll hand over to you, Mr. LaMarche, the marketing material, the cards that I have left, and the retractable that was made and used at least 2 different events.
Could I say something?
Absolutely.
In addition to your leadership as chair of the commission, you've also been, have you not been acting as clerk too?
Yes.
Yeah. So not only think about a new chairman, but think about a new clerk. And as we've observed with Ms. Coles, you know, there can be a fair amount of paperwork. It's a very important job, and so if someone thinks that they could take it on, that would be great.
I'll add to that, just not if you think you can do it, be willing to do it. Period. Be willing to do it. Okay. Back to you, sir, Mr. LaMarche, for anything else on the Deborah Sampson?
No, I do not.
Anything on the Center for Minority Veterans?
I do not.
Okay.
I
So-
couldn't find any information on that.
Okay. I didn't know anyone was gonna bring it up. I just brought it up because I thought it was important. So regarding Memorial Day, I'm just gonna go through what the subcommittee has been talking about. The subcommittee primary members are the Peoples, Miss Daly, recently invited as her. Mr. Coit, what is he to you?
I have a son-in-law.
Son-in-law, Mr. Coit has been invited, and myself. We have also had, I will say, our second meeting, perhaps the first, the way the city's looking at it, I'm not sure, which included Mr. LaMarche, Mr. Roche, Mr. Crew, Mr. Day, the Peoples, myself, Miss Daly, and some of the other case officers I'm missing, and the city's DEI officer, Officer Paradise as well. Am I missing anyone that was at that meeting? Okay. At that meeting, we reviewed what's happening for Memorial Day for 2025. Let's be very clear. There were 3 events that are happening for Memorial Day 2025. Anyone can correct me if I state anything inaccurately. There is a flag planting that will be led by Councilor Yem. See Councilor Yem for any more information on that. There is the Hometown Heroes banner event that will occur by Mr. LaMarche. If you have any other questions, see Mr. LaMarche on that. The third is the 31 May Memorial Day Commission, that Memorial Day event commemoration that this team is spearheading in conjunction with the city. 31 May is a Saturday. It's the weekend after Memorial Day, and we decided that a while ago just so that we weren't conflicting with so many Memorial Day events. It will be at JFK Plaza. It will be from noon to 4. We are currently still in the planning phase of it, but we have a sequence of events including our city manager speaking, our councilor speaking. We've asked, and Mr. Howe has accepted being a speaker on the history of Memorial Day and any ties to Lowell. I'm going to go through the list that we have here. Poppies have been purchased by the Peoples,
My employer.
Company.
by her
Donated.
employer, donated. VFW has them on hand. I will get them and provide them to the Peoples. VFW has the bell, but no trumpet. You're still working on a trumpet.
No, was working on a bell, and I actually got the bell, and I actually
Okay.
got the man a uniform as well.
Okay.
I did get a hold of Air Force ROTC, they'd be happy to do it.
They are Air Force, the Air Force ROTC, which
Air
one?
Force. Right at UMass Lowell.
Okay, copy.
What was the gentleman's name?
They haven't confirmed.
Well, I talked to him
Michael
on the
spoke
phone.
with
That's
him,
fine.
And he's willing to do it. And this
From
is
the
an
Veterans
email
Center
that
at
we
UMass.
sent to,
That's fine. You can just tell us.
oh,
Yeah, I don't have my glasses.
I should have brought mine too. Darren, was his name, Darren Lee. Michael spoke with him on the phone, and he was committed to providing a man in uniform and a bell. And all he required was an email. He emailed, he hasn't confirmed back, but it seems like we're covered with the bell.
Awesome.
One
I
way
have
or
been,
another.
I was remiss. Thank you very much.
Yep, no
So,
problem.
the event will start from noon to 4. It's going to have a welcome and opening prayer, the Lowell Police Honor Guard, Pledge of Allegiance by the Scouts of America, remarks by city officials, which includes the city manager, counselors, any military leaders, any vet organizations, history of Memorial Day, the reading of the Killed in Action by Reverend Emogene Stolkin. I did speak with her. You saw the email? Emogene, thank you. A highlight of the Golden Chair by the Peoples. We anticipate music, tabling, food trucks, a touch a truck with police truck, fire truck, ambulance, and military vehicles, playing of taps at 3 p.m., and then the end. That's the sequence of events today, and that is still draft and tentative. Now we'll go back through the list of activities that we were working. Military band and music. No organizations are available right now for a military band or music. We talked about having a DJ. I also reached out to the Lowell Philharmonic Orchestra to see if they would like to participate. And I was also informed there's another group that we can reach out to. Did anyone else reach out to someone?
We've had someone who would volunteer, a gentleman who is an Army veteran. He's an Armed Forces Network personality, lives here in Lowell. He wants to donate $350 towards the DJ. He's a professional DJ himself, at the Athenian Corner at the same time.
He
Doing
agreed
shows
to
there.
do it,
He wanted
but
to
he
do
couldn't.
it, but he did. He had an obligation to
So
sign a
another-
contract
he's
with
donating the
Athenian,
funds to
but
get
he
someone
said he would
else.
donate, he said, don't pay more than $350. He said the
Okay.
DJ,
But
that
he
should
will-
be the going rate. He said, this is what the pace is, I'm happy to donate.
Well, if we can get a couple of folks, I think that'd be great to have a bit of a dynamic in there, but I know that's a work in progress, and I'm sure that we'll have that sorted by the end of this calendar month.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, we did send out some feelers out there. We got one half, need you.
We did get a
We got one,
DJ
but
to
not happy
confirm
about
that he
that. I don't
could
know
do
if
it.
anyone here has any family or friends that are DJs, reliable DJs.
If you do, just email me and we'll get it to
Yeah.
the committee. Then we have the plaza permit, that's accepted, that has been approved, is the word I'm looking for. High tables, we had that conversation with Case, folding chairs, canopies for inclement weather, canopies for the band. We do need to follow up with that, if you remember, when we go to the next meeting with the city to find out. The Dunkin' Donuts truck, I really want that truck with free coffee, and Mr. Crew is gonna try to look into that for us. Sergeant DeSantos confirmed that we will have a Humvee. Officer Paradise wanted a different vehicle. She's going to try to get that, an additional vehicle, but she's not sure that she can. And the obstacle course is TBD. For food trucks, Tavern in the Square has agreed to an alcoholic trailer. Breaking Barriers Kitchen Food Truck UTEC has agreed. And we're waiting on the Sweet Bar to see, the ice cream truck, to see if they would like to be the third vendor available. Mr. LaMarche is working with the outdoor restrooms in order to get us 2 facilities. And we're working on water still, just for the scouts to hand out. Decorations and bunting we have. I don't know if you had the opportunity, but I'm just gonna ask again. Please go look at the stage and work with the case officers to ensure we have enough. Oh, we're good? Okay.
I went and talked to the guy who's gonna be setting up the stage. I told him we had 30 feet of bunting. He said you'll be plenty.
Okay.
And we're prepared to put it up, and
Okay. And if we have any leftover, maybe we can put it somewhere else around.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. DPW will work with the city for securing the trash and trash services. Reading of the Massachusetts Killed in Action, we just talked about, we talked to Imogene.
Yes?
Imogene. I spoke with her in person just to validate and confirmed with her that there's 3 events. The Golden Chair was presented via paper at our last meeting. It'll be presented at the next meeting with the city. This is the typical time that we host our recurring subcommittee, so we're just informing the public now. In case anyone still would like to help, there's still time and place. You can email lowellveteranscommission@gmail.com. Bubblegum is still being donated, and table toppers are still being donated.
yes.
Yeah,
The Lowell High School will not be available on the 31st of May. That's when they typically have their CTS out of town, but I was told to contact the Lawrence ROTC because potentially we could get a drill team to perform at this Memorial Day event as well, and flowers.
I'm meeting with them this week. We'll firm everything up and we're all set.
You were able to look at the stage and
Yeah.
determine,
Yeah.
okay.
I have the measurements, I have the stage, I have pictures, and gonna get the two florists to work together.
Okay. The city of Lowell is also creating the flyers for this event. They're creating any banners for this event, and they're creating any other banners that will accompany the golden chair for folks who are veterans to sign. And the city will maintain that for future use, and I think maybe be an ongoing activity so that it can be a historical document. So that's where we're at overall right now for the 31 May Memorial Day event. We have not yet solicited, re-solicited all of the tabling. We may have to go forego that for this year, but yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. We had also pounced around the idea of people putting down their loved ones as someone who served, someone to be remembered.
That's what I meant by the banner. Ms.
Okay.
DeRose said she was gonna create a banner, and it was gonna be called something to the effect of Lowell Remembers Banner.
All right, I thought maybe that fell by the wayside.
Mm-mm.
All right.
So yeah, the marketing and everything will be taken care of by Ms. DeRoche's office, and she has all the information. What other questions or what have we left out?
Everything's gonna be on Arcan Drive, no Middle Street, no Enterprise Bank.
JFK
Everything-
Plaza, and from my understanding,
Just right
Arcan
there.
Drive will be closed for the
Good.
trucks and the
And
vendors.
what happened to the stadium? What
That
happened
was
there?
out because there was construction and we couldn't get all of the aircraft that we wanted. It was too large of a venue.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, the city manager wanted us to have it downtown a little
Yeah.
more, and then it got pushed to JFK. So next year for our 200th anniversary, we could look into the shebang, and we need to start
Yeah.
directly after Memorial Day this year. You need to start directly after Memorial Day this year.
I know.
What other questions
The
do you
day you
have?
retire.
Do you have any other questions?
What about the rock, was there a rock march, or was that part of the?
That was canceled because the POC was unable to
Okay, because I
come
had some
through.
people interested in that, but, okay. That's my questions.
Sir. Okay. Mr. Lamarche.
I'm good.
Mr. Gaffney.
I'm good.
Mr. Cote. You're all set? Okay. Peoples.
I have a concern.
Yes.
The reading of the names killed in action. I took a look, there's a lot of names,
130.
and I think that's gonna be time consuming, and no disrespect, and I'm just a subcommittee, member, not a veteran. Michael feels that each name should be read. I think it's gonna be a little time consuming, giving.
What's your recommendation on the alternative?
My alternative would be to place the names on like a plaque surrounded by flowers and give a moment of silence for all members killed in action. Michael disagrees. He feels it should be, each name should be read, but I do think it's gonna be time consuming.
I think that
That's my concern.
there may be a way that we discussed as well, where if we don't read them all at one time, we can read them at certain times throughout, and the
Yeah,
last set could be read at 3 o'clock just before taps.
Is that just from last Memorial Day to this Memorial Day?
No.
No.
When is that from?
The time frame,
Yes.
what would be called a war on terror. It's a thing.
Okay.
And there are actually 130 people who are
Okay.
recognized.
From the state of Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
I'm glad you said something. I was gonna look up just the year.
No.
I thought it was,
We did it, we had a flag raising ceremony at UMass Lowell. And in 2009, I
And
had a
that's-
flag flown in Iraq, and then I shipped back here. And we had a ceremony for all the deceased.
is that
At
from
point.
Massachusetts or
That
from?
was from Massachusetts, and there was 78 names at the time.
I did ask the VFW, because they typically do read the VFW 662 members that have passed from Memorial Day to Memorial Day, what events they are hosting that name reading at, or if it's just within the VFW. And honestly, I think I received an answer, but I don't remember what it was right now.
Typically,
It was at a district meeting, but I don't know about in addition.
when the Veterans Council has an event, I haven't received notice of it yet, but it's typically the Saturday before Memorial Day. And they meet at the Ladden Whitney Monument, and all the organizations would get together. They'd read all names from each organization from Memorial Day to Memorial Day. And then they would play taps, and then they would meet down at the auditorium for their ceremony.
Would you mind checking with them to make sure that is or isn't happening? It has no consequence on our 31 May, but. I don't have anything else. I just wanted to run through that. And so, I think, yes, ma'am.
What about tasking for the volunteers the day of?
If we have any volunteers the day of,
Well, like, what can I do on the day of?
oh, we can absolutely talk about that. We have plenty of activities to
Well,
do.
that's-
Okay, it could be the handing out of poppies, and you can have this conversation with the city, because you can have this conversation with the city, but there's some, off the top of my head, is handing out of poppies, handing out of water, just directing people on where to go, ensuring that the sequence of events is still happening, letting people know you're about to speak next, come up, you're about
Yeah.
to play now,
That's-
those type
yeah.
of things.
That's it.
Orchestration, I think you'd be great at that.
Thanks.
So our next meeting would be on the 14th of May. And like I said, I don't believe that I will be at this meeting. It will still be at 5 PM here at LTC.
Question.
Yes, sir.
If I contact Mr. Tachan and he tells me, yes, I can make it, we're gonna bring 3 people with us, would it then be better to move the meeting into City Hall?
If you can let us know in time and we can contact City Hall in time to move it there, then
Okay.
yes, but
I'm
unfortunately, a
gonna-
last minute is not wise.
No, I understand. I'm gonna email him tomorrow.
All right, we're just gonna say that we're adjourning at 5:46 PM, and I thank
Second.
everyone for attending. Have a wonderful evening.
Bye, Charles.